Boys competing in girls' sports in Minnesota. Meet the coach and journalist blowing the whistle on a program at the University of Minnesota that she's been trying to expose for years. Next. Sarah Barker is my guest. She is a longtime runner, coach, and journalist with stories featured in the New York Times, Runner's World, Women's Running, and many more. Sarah, thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You've been trying to warn people about boys competing in girls' sports for quite some time. And once again, you know it well, Minnesota making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This time, the federal government has told the Minnesota State High School League and Minnesota Department of Education to fix their Title IX violations or face imminent enforcement. I know you've been trying to call attention to this for years. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's taken this long. Title IX is fairly straightforward. Was passed in 1972, and it was an inclusion measure for girls. And, you know, Minnesota and many other states have been signed on the dotted line. They took the federal money and have been for 10 years. So it should not come as a surprise that, there's consequences for not abiding by Title IX.
You've been doing quite a bit of reporting on all of this, including research into the University of Minnesota and what's called the Tucker Center for Research on Girls and Women in Sports. But it was a couple years ago now the center announced it was partnering with Nike to keep girls in sports. And part of this involved the Coaching Her program. I know you took a deep dive into this program. You read every module, took every quiz, watched every video. But this Coaching Her seems to serve a different purpose. Tell us about it.
The Tucker Center created this Coaching Her program as a training, as a re-education program for coaches, blaming the coach's gender bias and outdated stereotypes for girls dropping out of sports. Yet their own research does not support this. So there's that inconsistency. When you take the quizzes, as I did, when you take the training modules, what you find is that it's actually a indoctrination program for coaches into gender ideology to normalize males in girls' sports. It purported to help girls, to keep girls in sports. Actually, that was not the case at all. In fact, by encouraging and gaslighting girls and coaches into accepting boys into their sports, this just adds to another reason that girls might drop out of sports. It's disturbing, it's anti-girl, it's anti-reality, and the truly concerning thing is that it was developed here in Minnesota, but it's very well funded and it's been rolled out worldwide, globally.
I want to highlight, Sarah, just a couple more things from the website. As you've mentioned, they're not really hiding the agenda. Right there, it says to help coaches rethink what it means to coach girls. Their mission seems even more obvious, which is to, quote, reduce gender inequalities in sports by equipping coaches to lead with awareness, intention, and inclusivity. We found this video, too, on the website that makes things even more obvious.
Tactics, techniques, and strategies are important, but a majority of coaches lack understanding of a central yet unaddressed issue that negatively impacts girls' self-perceptions and her experiences in youth sport: coaches' unconscious gender bias and stereotypes. That's why we created Coaching Her, a free digital toolkit based on the most current, comprehensive, evidence-based resources for coaches of young people who identify as girls.
But all of this, I know, has become an issue for you, but how have you seen this even affect the field of journalism?
So to write about these topics, if you're writing about a trans girl, and nearly all mainstream media, and in fact, in the Coaching Her training module, they use ideological language, which obscures the sex of the person. And in the case of the Coaching Her program, it gaslights coaches and girls into saying, no, this person with a penis is actually a girl.
Pointing out problems is one thing. Pointing to solutions, it seems, is another. But what would you like to see happen here, Sarah?
Well, girls to have sports for girls, really. I mean, it really is that simple. That would be ideal. I hope Minnesota will, in terms of just Minnesota, I hope Minnesota will actually respond to the press release from the Department of Education and Health and Human Services. I think the apology that they requested to all the women and girls in Minnesota is not out of line. I think it has been really shockingly underplayed that the state of Minnesota has really has eliminated girls' and women's Title IX rights for 10 years. And there seems to be a very casual disregard for this, as if it was no big deal. It's a huge deal. It's a big deal. If women do not have sex-based rights, they have no rights. They have zero rights. So it would be important to me to have girls' sports for girls, women's sports for women. I think everyone deserves to have sports. Male and female is inclusive of virtually everyone on this planet. And you can also identify how within those categories however you like. No one ever said you couldn't. This is completely possible. And many women do it. Identify however they please and remain in the female category.
Sure does seem simple enough. Sarah Barker, again, thank you for joining me. You can find more of Sarah's work at the female category on Substack. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Liz.
That will do it for this episode of Liz Collin Reports. We will see you next time.